Yeah, this one's called Lily Topples the World. It's a documentary about Lily Hevesh, and she is the biggest YouTube domino artist sensation there is. Millions of subscribers, millions of views, and her entire life, essentially from a very young age, she's perfected the art of dominoes and the toppling of dominoes. And I will say that this is just one of those documentaries that you kind of want to just sit back and watch and relax, because it's very soothing. It's very pleasurable to watch these dominoes fall, and then because she elevates it. If you watch her stuff on YouTube, it's more than just dominoes falling. She's made a science and an art out of it. It's the way it sounds, the way it falls. It's just so relaxing. She'll build these giant towers, and the way these towers fall is quite beautiful. And then you get to know her life. And I'm very familiar with it. She was adopted from China back in the late 90s. And she grew up in Connecticut. Or New Hampshire. And so she talks a little bit about her life as the only Asian in her community or her school. And then it gets really into all this YouTube media influencer stuff. She spends a year in college, makes a great amount of friends, but realizes this is not her thing. She needs to do her dominoes. And now she does it for a full-time living, just doing this domino stuff. You just want to watch it. My daughter hates documentaries, and I said, you're going to like this one. And we just sat there last night and watched the whole thing. It was just like, so peaceful, so serene. It's great. It's just amazing what she does, what she can do, and how she elevates this art, because she is considered the best in the world when it comes to dominoes.
I have a question, Alan. Do they talk about sort of the theory on how all this works, like the science or the kinetic energy I've always been curious about that. That's why I thought it was interesting.
Well, it's interesting you asked that, because one minor through line throughout the film is the fact that she wants to produce her brand of dominoes. Basically it's her quest to produce and sell the perfect domino. And there is a section where she describes what makes that perfect domino, because she has to sell it she goes to a toy fair and goes from manufacturer to manufacturer, and there's a very specific texture that it has to have. Very specific weight and feel to it. It's the size of a domino, so that's already taken care of. The edges have to be sharp. The texture it can't be a smooth texture, and it has to make a specific sound when it falls as well, to give you that nice, peaceful, serene feeling as you're watching it.
Yeah, there's always this meditation element about dominoes when you're using them, not as the game, but like in art, because there's that part too. Did she ever talk about like the game part ever? Did she do that?
No, there's no talk about the game. I mean, it's funny to call it dominoes, because the domino implies it's those dots, the 1 through 6 dots, and the dominoes she uses, they're just rectangular domino sized pieces, and
actual dominoes.
Yeah, so there's no game.
There's no game.
one's playing dominoes.
Did she put any artwork on these pieces ever?
What was that?
Did she put any artwork on those pieces of hers, or are they just like blank?
They're blank. I mean, when she meets someone famous, she'll sign a domino. She'll have them sign a domino. So, like she was in the movie Collateral. Oh, okay, her domino art was in the movie Collateral Beauty with Will Smith, and it's that elaborate piece at the beginning of the movie. That's what.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Does she ever tip anything else over, or is it just dominoes?
Oh, yeah.
Cows or, you know.
Yeah, she tips cows. She goes. There's a section where she goes out to a farm and she lines up cows and just ruins an entire field.
How much focus is put on the Asian American experience in the movie?
There's a little bit of that. You know, it's, you know, there's a moment where she's talking to, I will say this, in the late 90s, in the aughts, you know, there was a lot of adoption of Chinese girls because of the one-child policy in China.
Yeah.
And so I mean, you know, I certainly did that with my wife, where we adopted, and so that was a big part. And you know, so it's addressed, it's talked about her experience, but not in any profound, deep way, other than to explain her experience and what it was like growing up as, you know, as an adopted Chinese girl.
I'm adopted too. I didn't know that your daughter was adopted. That's cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I love that you were able to watch this film with your daughter, because I find that in these festivals, there are very few films you can watch with the family.
Yeah. Well, I mean, weirdly, we're going to see Spine of Night next. So, yeah, I mean, we did that with Sundance, with Superior, and she just kind of wandered in because, you know, you're watching these things on your television, and so she just kind of wandered in and got kind of ripped with these thrillers. So, yeah, it's a great experience, and you know, who knows? I mean, you know, we can get into a big Marvel discussion at this point. All right. So, yeah, I gave it 8.5 out of 5. I just, you know, it's just kind of nice to see a documentary that's about something fun and nothing too heady and nothing too weighty. But yeah, it's a good looking document, especially if you're into Domino's and have seen her work, because it is truly top of the line art, Domino art.